Breaking news, Special Counsel Jack Smith has now heard from one of the most crucial witnesses in any of these Trump probes. I'm talking about the man atop the White House during the January 6th insurrection, and he was chief of staff during that period, chaotic and otherwise, of Trump's departure, when we know these now secret and classified documents were allegedly taken, stolen, or mishandled. The man you see on your screen is the key witness, Mark Meadows, and the Times has just crossed that news just here in the last few minutes. And we have that for you tonight. Well, we also just got this video providing a rare look at Trump probe Special Counsel Jack Smith heading to work today, apparently escorted by security. NBC News cameras capturing this exclusive. Let's take a look at this in full. I want to show you exactly what we have here. It's the first known video of Smith just going about his job, going to work in this role. It's a high-stakes job where his approach has been discreet, secretive, and low profile. And we could show you exactly how the reporter did his job today. You asked the questions, and Smith responded by showing exactly how he does his job. No comment whatsoever.
Is an indictment coming soon, sir? Is an investigation wrapping up, sir?
There you have it, the sound of silence, if you will. The refusal to comment in any way really echoes Bob Mueller's approach, another law enforcement veteran who was very quiet in this same special counsel post. The occasional snapshot of him going to and from work across the long hours he worked. And again, folks have been keeping an eye out for Smith. You rarely see him. Now, this secrecy, I should say, does go above and beyond the letter of the law or the requirements. Federal prosecutors can legally make certain statements. Some have at times given sweeping speeches and interviews. But Jack Smith is not in an ordinary prosecutor post. He will recommend whether or not to federally indict Donald Trump. That is strength, power. And as Brooklyn artist Memphis Bleek memorably put it, the strong move quiet, the weak start riots. The special counsel is wielding his quiet strength as he investigates the weak convicts who rioted and attacked the Capitol after they lost the election, a move born of weakness that, of course, failed in changing the peaceful transfer of power that later occurred. They made it violent for an afternoon. That's under investigation as Smith probes that riot and the coup plot, along with this other classified documents case, the other breaking news that Nicole and I were just discussing. Now, this isn't just rhetoric. Here's a new development that underscores the quiet approach. We have this news today that Smith has quietly convened a second and separate grand jury in Florida for this documents case. That's in addition to the D.C. grand jury, which all of this looks to have been under wraps. Then external parties did learn about the Florida grand jury when hit with subpoenas for potential witnesses. Bloomberg has an item on that. Now one witness testifying, at least one, to the federal Florida grand jury. Another is expected. Also, when you talk about the escalating heat and the clues we're getting about a largely closed probe, well, we're learning up to 20 of Trump's Secret Service members have testified to that first D.C. grand jury Smith convened in D.C., according to the New York Times. Now, because of the secrecy, no one can confirm what these grand juries are doing exactly. If people are charged for obstruction of justice in this case, that may be occurring in Florida, where Trump and his aides memorably clashed with law enforcement over allegedly stolen material. The DOJ also may have other reasons, evidentiary or otherwise, or plans for the crimes it might ultimately charge for working in Florida. Or, as I always caution you, there just could be other considerations we don't know anything about. Now, I made that comparison to Mueller. One contrast, though, is that probe ended in the hands of then Trump-appointed Attorney General Bill Barr, who was Mueller's boss under the rules. Well, today, that one-time Trump defender made clear he's joining the chat, rebuking Trump for retaining the classified documents.
This is not a case of the Department of Justice, conducting a witch hunt. In fact, they approached this very delicately and with deference to the president, and this would have gone nowhere had the president just returned the documents. But he jerked them around for a year and a half, and the question is, did he deceive them? And if there's evidence of that, I think people will start to see that this says more about Trump than it does the Department of Justice.
That is a diplomatic way of saying Trump's in the wrong and you can't use mistakes or worse things that Trump did to attack DOJ, not if you're living in the land of facts. Barr also says he suspects an indictment of Trump in the Docs case is near.
I suspect it's near. I've said for a while that I think this is the most dangerous legal risk facing the former president. From what I've seen, there's substantial evidence there.
That is the kind of substantial evidence that Trump's lawyers were up against in that meeting with Jack Smith yesterday. Again, a lot going on. We saw the footage of them departing the DOJ. And that is fortified by what we believe is new testimonial evidence from Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, himself. Whatever it is he said under oath.